What's up, Melanated family? How's everybody doing, man? So check it out. I found a video a few weeks ago that I want to share with the family. Right? I think these type of conversations are important and necessary. So I found a video with my brother Umar Johnson. If Dr. Umar Johnson, if any of you guys aren't aware of who Umar Johnson is, he's a school psychologist, really big on YouTube, tours the country, talking to Black people about different things we need to do to correct our current position in this country. Polarizing figure, you know what I mean? Either you love him or you hate him type of shit. But I rock with Dr. Umar. You can, if you don't know who he is, you can look him up to figure out who the brother is. But I rock with him. I personally feel he has the Black community's best interests in mind when he um, introduces things on his platform. So I fuck with the brother. You know what I mean? But there's a video here on Fox Soul. I'm not sure if any of you guys are aware of what Fox Soul is. If you go to YouTube, Fox Soul is like the Black experience Fox has created. You know what I mean? Some good shows on the YouTube channel, though. But on this show, Dr. Umar is talking to two brothers who are in interracial relationships, right? So the question is, and I'm always intrigued by how the family feels about these type of conversations, right? The question is, if you're a Black man, right, are you a sellout if you date outside your race? What are the negative attributes to dating outside of your race, if any, in your opinion? And this is just being Black in particular. And what's the reason why? That's what I'm most intrigued by, like the reason people choose to date outside of their race. I don't have a problem with it, but the reason why, to me, may cause some red flags. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video. The video is like 27 minutes. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna just play a few minutes of it, and I'll like counteract with some points that I have about it. Because again, family, like everything involving our people, we need to care about. That's the point of me coming to you with conversations, the Melanated Convo. There are a lot of conversations we need to have. Sometimes you will have people who are well into their 20s and 30s and haven't even thought about particular things. And I particularly feel like there needs to be critical thought behind everything that we engage in. Our relationships, our religion, our political affiliations, like why we do what we do needs to be examined. You know what I mean? If you ain't thought about it, you need to, on some real shit. So let's get into it. I'm gonna play a little bit of the video and then I am going to comment along the way. Hold on one second. Make it a little bigger. Don't forget to hit that like button too. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the Melanated Convo. Be a part of the family. You feel me? So here, let me play a little bit of this and then we'll talk about it.
For other people to see, I think there's power.
Why should Black people care about interracial relationships? Frederick, kick us off.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I feel like Black people should care about interracial relationships because they're important, right? It gives us an opportunity, like I'm in an interracial relationship myself, so it gives us an important opportunity to be a bridge. So we see ourselves as a bridge with so much divide going on. So we try to be that bridge for other people that have questions on other races other races and stuff like that. So we want to just be a bridge for them. We want to allow them an opportunity to ask the tough questions and be a positive light and to be that backboard that they can.
A bridge to racial harmony.
Well, hold on one second. One thing I want to say about that. I understand what the brother's saying. Let me go back to just being to me. I understand what the brother's saying, but that's wishful thinking. Like to think I'm a, for all intents and purposes, to think I'm a fuck the racism out of somebody who, whether it be through their family's tradition or just their way of thinking, you're not going to change how somebody thinks because you're having sex with them. You know what I mean? So can two people from different races get together and enlighten each other on the culture they come from? Sure. But all too often, what this brother isn't addressing, all too often, I see people from other races who date us, like specifically, let's say a white woman who dates a Black man. They may date this Black man and love him and have sex with him, but wake up the next day and still be on the same racist shit. Like they can compartmentalize sex from their political affiliation or sex from their allegiance to their race to a degree. So having sex with somebody is not going to change their mentality as far as how they feel about another race of people. We see it all the time just in our society where like the cognitive dissonance, where someone, just to put it in the realm of sports, someone can not like a black person, but like LeBron James. You know what I mean? It's the same type of mentality. Hold on one second. Let me go back to it. Let me go back to it, family.
Yes, a bridge to it. I mean, there's so much division, and in our relationships, we try to allow our relationship to be an image of what it looks like for unity, right? Unity together and coming together. And you have differences, I have differences, I'm different than you, but we can come together and have something that's beautiful. That's our marriage.
Why should Black people care about interracial relationships, Juice?
Really, it's like I'm not really into like preach or force my belief on someone, but it's like there's just so much focus on skin color, you know, and I'm like, I feel like the focus to me, again, just my opinion, but I feel like the focus should be on someone's character first. And if the person's nice and you like them, then it makes sense to kind of want to be around them because they're nice people, regardless of what they look like. So, you know, for me, it just makes sense to focus on someone's character first, then someone's appearance, skin color, and that stuff. So.
Okay, real quick. I don't have a problem with either one of these brothers dating outside their race. Dr. Umar is gonna come on a minute and give his opinion about it. But that, again, to me, that's almost wishful thinking. Like I don't agree when people say I don't see race. Bullshit. I mean, come on, man. Let's be realistic about what we're looking at in this country. Let's be realistic. Like, you don't have to focus on race and allow that to consume you, but to say you don't, the first thing you see when you see somebody is the color of their skin. Now, what you choose to do after that, how you choose to react to them, is on you, but that's the first fucking thing you see. Whether it's just the color of their skin, it's the traditions they uphold in their community, whatever community that may be. You're noticing all of these things, and of course you want the content of someone's character and who they are as a person. Of course these should be the most important things, but we live in America, family. You know what I mean? So yes, you should be that, like, that should be your goal in the direction you go in. But we live in a country that is dominated by racism to a degree. And I don't like when people say, oh, I don't see race, or I don't see that. Well, look, you don't have to engage. You could be a fair-minded person, but to ignore the elephant in the room is disingenuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
Dr. Umar, let's get into it. Why should Black people care about interracial relationships?
Black people should care about interracial relationships for 3 reasons. Number one, when we go outside of our community to select our mates, we undermine the importance of the traditional Black family in the lives of Black people, and in particular, Black children. If Black boys don't see Black men being committed to Black women, they may be less inclined to do the same themselves. There can be no nation without first having a strong Black family, and the traditional Black family is under attack. And when we talk about interracial relationships in our community, we're overwhelmingly talking about Black men. It is Black men who marry outside of their race more than the men of every other race.
Real quick, I did a little research. I think he's absolutely right about that, as far as Black men actually dating outside of their race more so than Black women. You know what I mean? And that's an interesting topic to me, because again, the reason behind it is always the most important thing, because we can't deny the fact that just typically, right? Like, even you can have a white family, an Asian family, a Mexican family who aren't necessarily racist people or have negative tropes in their mind about other races of people, but they can be that way and still be race first, meaning they still prefer, right, if their son or daughter brings home somebody that look like them. Like, we need to be, like, sometimes we be ashamed to speak to the love we got for Black people. Like, we be ashamed to admit that I'm Black, I love it, I only want a Black family. Like what he's saying, disagree or agree, there should be nothing wrong with that. other races of people do that shit all the time, where they say, yeah, you can date these niggas when you're a teenager, but when it comes time for you to marry, or it comes time for you to be serious about a relationship, you better bring home somebody that look like you. Like, I don't think there's any wrong with even somebody black saying, I prefer if my son or my daughter brings home somebody that looks just like me. Like, there's nothing wrong with having that preference, especially because some of the things he's speaking to is the degradation in our communities, like where we are statistically in the black community. We need a lot of help, right? We understand that there's not a lot of black men in the home. Not there, they are, but we understand the hurdles we've had to face with the prison system, with welfare, and all of these different institutions that have been put in place that have made it a little difficult for the black man and the black woman to relate, right? So we completely understand that. And I think you should be thinking about these things when you out in the world dating. Now, again, you can choose to love whoever you want to love, but to ignore what we've had to go through, and to ignore how, based on the men that are in prison, based on the men that actually like men as well, based on the men who are just shiftless to a degree, right? The pickings are small for a black woman. Like, it's more men than women anyways. Like, the percentage to men in any race is more than it is women. But in the black race, like, everything that goes on in this country, all the ills of the country, and I've said this before, all the ills that Americans have to deal with, most of those things hit us 10 times worse because of our standing in this country, because of racism, because of institutionalized racism that we have to deal with, and we still have to deal with. So these things affect our relationship too, right? So let me just play a little more of this.
In this country put together as a percentage of their respective communities. 25% of all newlywed black men in this past decade, okay, were married outside of their race. 25%. And although we have seen it,
just real quick, I looked that up. That's very true. Now, here's the thing. Here's my only problem with that. Like, my not problem. My question is 25% of black men, right? My question always is why? Why? Right? Because if you, again, if you fall in love with a woman of any race, just based on the connection you two have, based on, of course, you enjoy how she looks, but there's a connection there that you appreciate. There's something there that makes you want to be around them. There's no problem with that. But I'm not going to act like I don't know black men who specifically say I'm not fucking with a black woman, who specifically say it. Now, I don't have white friends. I don't have Asian friends. I don't have Mexican friends like that. So I don't know if they conduct themselves the same way. I don't know if there's members of their society who say, fuck that, I ain't gonna mess with no Mexican woman. No. But for me, that's kind of fucking weird when a man says, I don't want a woman who look like my mama, basically. That's basically what you said. So I've seen black men who say specifically, I'm not fucking with black women. And just to keep it completely real, that shit has always rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, damn, are white men? Because you can say, I prefer a certain race of person to be with. Then there's still questions with that too, right? Because what is that preference based on? That's always the question, right? So I'm not gonna act like I don't know black men who say I'm not fucking with a black woman specifically, and I can't stand that shit, just to keep it real. Like that, I detest that shit, because our women are beautiful. All women are beautiful. But our women are beautiful. You know what I mean? Our women are especially beautiful. Like you should be intrinsically, you should be more drawn to someone who looks like you, right? However, like there's a lot of factors in the interracial dating dilemma, right? Because where you live matters, how you're raised matters, who you're around matters. Like all these things matter too. We can't remove those factors. If a black man goes to a school where all the women are white, then who is he more than likely going to connect with? You know what I mean? So that all of these are important things that we need to talk about, family.
Increase in black women dating outside of the race, it's only up to 12%. So interracial marriage in the black community is overwhelmingly a black male thing. How can we turn our backs on our women which is a form of turning our backs on our community. And without question, it represents turning our backs on our children. Working in the schools, one of the big questions I always get from Black girls, third graders, fourth graders, and fifth graders is, Dr. Umar, what's wrong with me? Why is it that so many Black men choose to marry someone?
Just real quick, I want to touch on this before I forget. And again, I rock with my brother Umar. Damn it, was I not playing the video on the screen? Was it not on the screen, y'all? Damn it, sorry about that. Were you able to hear it at least? Hold on one second. I'm gonna go back. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go back because I want y'all to hear what he was just saying. And I fluffed it. Hold on one second. Let me see here. Hold on. I want y'all to hear what he was just saying. I'm not sure because I didn't bring myself on. So hold on one second. I'm gonna rewind it just real quick before I comment because I want y'all to be tuned in with your brother. So
the Black community is overwhelmingly a Black male thing. How can we turn our backs on our women, which is a form of turning our backs on our community? And without question, it represents turning our backs on our children. Working in the schools, one of the big questions I always get
that's what I was
from Black girls, third graders, fourth graders, and fifth graders is, Dr. Umar, what's wrong with me? Why is it that so many Black men choose to marry someone who does not look like their mother?
Hold on one second.
Cedric, you said you're in it.
Hold on one second. So again, I rock with the brother Umar. Like most of the stuff he says, I'm in agreement with. Sometimes he's a little extreme, but to me, to say turning your back on our community in general because you date outside of your race is a little extreme. So it's really the why behind it. Because again, I'm of the belief that a Black man can be a revolutionary Black man, meaning you fight for our people, you put yourself in a position to be effective in our communities. It's not mutually exclusive. I think you could do both. I think you could date outside your race and be a Black man who stands up for your people. But it's all about the understanding. Like it's all about the mentality. So to me, if you are a man who stands up for your race and you believe in the liberation of Black people, this is going to be something that you exude, right? This is going to be something that you speak about. This is going to be something that like as far as your morals and standards are concerned, you are going to put these things first. So if you come across a mate, come across your woman who's white, Mexican, Asian, and you are putting up front that, hey, one of the things that's important to me is the liberation of people who look like me. Like it's really important to me that Black people try their best to defeat racism, that Black people seek to get treated equally, right? And this is how I rock. So if you my partner, you're going to have to be in alignment with this. I think if you make these things known up front, then you'll see the type of person that you have. Because one of the things about interracial relationships that everybody needs to be aware of is the culture shock needs to be addressed, right? If you're a Black man and you are involved and you're a Black man coming from our community where we are bereft of particular types of traditions, right? Sometimes we have broken families and we have these situations. All communities do, but specifically us at times. We have these broken families where there's just a mom or there's only a one parent. There's a grandma if you were raised a particular way. And then you meet a Mexican woman or a white woman and their household seems to be a little more stable or a little more based on tradition. All this is going to be an adjustment, right? Like the brother was saying a little bit earlier, I know what he was trying to say. Like if you marrying outside your race isn't going to end racism, but it can create some understanding between the races of people. But I think the best scenario for that to work out is both people being proud of who they are. I think Black men get fucked up sometimes when they are already not necessarily proud of being a Black man. They've been under all of these social constructs when it comes to a white Jesus, when it comes to a white teacher, when it comes to a white boss, right? The image of power in your mind, if you don't deprogram yourself, could possibly be somebody white, right? So unconsciously, you may end up seeking that in which you think is powerful, that in which you feel is a symbol of success or a symbol of me making it. You know what I mean? So that's a slippery slope, because again, if you're a black man who dated a white woman, a Mexican woman, whatever, I think you should be concerned with the liberation of our people, regardless of who you choose to be in a relationship with. My problem is when you're not concerned with where we are in this country and how we're doing in this country, and on top of that, you date outside your race, because then what'll happen is you don't have a clear stance on how you feel about us, or you don't have a clear stance on what needs to happen for our community. So then it becomes like a you're not unified with us. So you may find yourself in a position, right? And I know people who've had to experience this. You may find yourself in a position where you got a white woman and you chilling with her partners, and they comfortable, right? They get comfortable with your ass, and all of a sudden they telling black jokes. All of a sudden they're jokingly asking questions about the black community. The worst thing you can be in that position is a man who hasn't invested enough time and mental fortitude in getting an understanding of why we are in the position we're in, because then you won't be equipped to answer that question. And the pressure of it, and the fact that you already don't rock with us like that, is going to make you either agree with what they saying or say some old soft shoe coon ass shit that going to make all of us look bad, because I'm a group think type of individual. Like, I don't say if a black person or one individual white person does something horrific, I don't blame that on any whole community, right? But I do think in moments like that, like, because I've been in those situations where you're around Caucasian people and they get comfortable with you. And once they get comfortable, they begin to ask questions about shit that they don't know about. Like, most white people don't have black friends. Most white people aren't in environments where black people are. So it's literally a whole bunch of shit about us that they're just preconceived notions based on stereotypes, based on what they see on the news. So I think those are golden opportunities when you're around people of other ethnicities and they have questions about us. They have questions about some of our traditions, some of the things we do. And I pride myself on being ready for all of that shit. Like, I can educate you on anything you want to know. Like, we can go from A to Z with that shit. And all of us need to be equipped, because again, if you're going to date outside of your race, this is something you're going to have to do. Like he was saying, you can be a bridge to something beautiful from a particular aspect. I understand what he was saying. Only if I'm like a revolutionary minded thinking black person who gonna do everything I can to uplift my people at every turn. That type of person can enlighten their spouse who may be white or Mexican or Asian. And just on some real shit, I don't have anything against these two brothers, but I don't get that vibe from either one of them. I don't get the vibe that they see a George Floyd get killed and be upset to the point where they want to see some changes in the system, opposed to he shouldn't have been there, he should have complied, he, like a lot of cool niggas do, just to keep it real. You know what I mean? So here, a couple more minutes of this, and it's a few more things they're going to address that I want to speak about with the family. But this is interesting, family. We need to think about this. We need to think about it. Some people that I know have hard stances on these type of things. I'm not dating outside of my race, or I don't give a fuck. You find love where you find it, but why? Like, do your due diligence. Like, think hard about that. But why? Why do you think that? Like, we should be creating like context in our mind and researching if we need to, just to get an understanding of particular things, right? So when things come to us, we're not all in shock and awe because it's something we ain't even thought about before. So if you in a position and you're a black man and all you do is date white women, and you've never really deeply thought about it, critically thought about it, ask yourself why, family. Ask yourself why. What is it about them? Because let's not front like there aren't traditionally stereotypes that come along with each race of woman. If you're black, they say you loud, they say you obnoxious, they say you are controlling. This isn't true, but this is how people feel. If you Asian woman, people feel that they're more submissive, right? Therefore, they feel they're more submissive, more doing what the man wants at his hands and feet type of shit, like at his beck and call, right? Is there truth to it? Possibly, but that's not the end all be all. Like there's Asian women who not like that. Same thing go for Mexican women and white women. There are stereotypes associated with how a particular woman's going to act, and we can't front like that ain't out here. You don't have to subscribe to it, but you can't front like it isn't a thing. You feel me?
Interracial relationship, have you turned your back on the Black family?
No. How can I turn my back on my family? My family is a Black family. I grew up in a Black family. My mom is Black. My dad's Black. I'm Black. I am inherently Black. That my choice to marry my wife that isn't Black does not make me less Black. You know, to think that the entire Black community is going to perish because of a decision I made, I don't think that's
okay. We're not going to perish based on the individual decision of one Black man, but in what I don't think is being addressed here specifically, it's your mentality, brother. Because you can be in a relationship with this white woman, but when it comes to, again, us being liberated and figuring out ways to remove racism from our society, like doing everything we can on the individual stance to improve the outcome of Black people everywhere. So no, it isn't your responsibility but individually to do this. But if you're a person who loves our community and understands the horrific history of what we've had to go through, like in detail, and because of this, it turns you into a person who wants to speak out and do what you can, like physically, not just thinking about shit and reading shit, but actually doing shit. If you exude this type of position, the woman you around just is going to fall in line anyway. So what Dr. Umar is saying, if you marry somebody that's non-Black, the person that's in charge of your legacy, let's say you a millionaire, or let's say you are doing well, or whatever your stance is in life, the person that's going to be in charge of your legacy financially is someone who's non-Black. Now, again, the only way this could, I think, fully still benefit your family and fully benefit the generations to come is if the woman is a fair-minded individual who understood how you felt about your people. So this ain't gonna be a situation where you die and she say fuck everything and keep all the money, or say fuck everything and put that money back in her family's hands some way or not, one way or the another. If she knew how you felt about your people, and she knew how you felt about like your understanding of Black businesses and understanding of what we don't have, so you would express to her, when I die, I need to make sure my kids get my stuff. I need to make sure that our kids are educated. I need to make sure that our kids love who they are, right? This is how you set it up to make the situation still beneficial for your Black children. Like, it's up to you as the man, really. If you Black and your wife is white or Asian or whatever, it's up to you as the man to infuse the history of our people and your kids. It's up to the man to, in your home, speak to your children about the George Floyd shit. Like, when things happen to us in society, it's really important and it's really telling. Like, you'll find out a lot about a Black man and his family if you listen to how he speaks about what goes on in society. Behind everybody's door, they speak candidly about all issues that happens, whether in detail or just real quickly. They speak candidly about these issues. So if you a Black man with a white woman, but inside of your home, you speak down on racism, inside of your home, you make it a point to defend Black people. You make it a point to connect what is happening currently to history by educating your children. They'll inherently be more acceptable of where Black people need to go. They'll be more revolutionary minded if you set that in motion. And again, you can have a white woman, a Mexican woman, if you're proud of who you are and you express that, and you express your concern about particular things, either they're gonna respect that shit or y'all not gonna work out anyways. You feel me? So a little bit more, family.
Very that's a great that's not very reasonable to say, if that makes sense.
If I could push back respectfully, briefly, I would just say we have to look at the reality that Black women are more likely than any other women in this country to marry later in life. They're more likely to be married much shorter than other women. and they're more likely to not get married at all. Only 1 out of every 4 Black women in the United States will get married. So for a Black man to marry out of his race and not say that he does not bear any responsibility for the fact that Black women have such a difficult time finding a man who looks like them, who is willing to build a family with them, to say that it is not a form of betrayal on some level, I believe is politically disingenuous. Black people, with the history we have in this country, coming from slavery through Jim Crow, through Willie Lynch, all the way up to today, we need each other. And it's important to recognize that even when you date or marry outside of your race, the non-African that you're marrying, the white person, or be it a person of another culture, but particularly white people, they are still just as racist as other white people. There's this notion that when you marry or date a white person, that particular white person was more liberal than the other whites. The research does not bear that out. The research shows that they are just as racist.
Hold on 1 second. I think that is absolutely true. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, I think we are disillusioned to believe that just because this person is with me, that they somehow have erased all of their views and preconceived notions about our race. I think that is a huge mistake that a lot of people make, because sometimes Black people who date outside of their race, they'll capitulate a little bit as far as not necessarily looking at themselves a part of a whole unit of Black people, not necessarily looking at themselves being part of a Black community like that. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of white people, not all, we're not going to speak in absolutes here, but in my opinion, like a lot of white people, they'll, like I was saying earlier, the cognitive dissonance where they cannot like Black people, but like you. That happens a lot, where you'll see a Black person who has who is in a group of friends, and this is his friends or her friends, and these are white people or people who are not Black, and they will not like Black people, but like this one person. They'll tell you, well, you're not like them. I've had this happen. I ain't got white friends, but I've had white coworkers or been in situations at jobs where they get comfortable and they get to speaking, they get to talking shit like that. And again, if you don't love your people and you're not educated on our history, you'll fail in those moments. Like, they may end up thinking that you are one of the good ones, when it's your job to correct them and say, no, I'm just like every other Black people. We're not going to play that game. Just because I work here, just because I may be clean cut, just because I may speak a particular way, don't mean I'm not just like the brothers from the hood, just like the brothers in particular environments, because the greater system that we live in sees us all the same way. Like, Black folks need to be completely understanding of that. That's why no matter what I become in life, or where my journey takes me, where my ambition takes me, there will never be a time where I frown upon a Black man who in the hood struggling, or a Black man who sags his pants or don't speak professionally. Like, I have my issues with these things, but these are behind closed doors conversations. First, that's my brother, right? And if I get pulled over, we are both subject to the same type of treatment from this country at any given time. So to believe my status, money, position in life, any of these things is going to remove my Blackness or me being treated a particular way because I'm Black, that's bullshit. You know what I mean?
As other white people. And
to say that, for me to say that every white woman, because I married a white woman, every white woman, my wife, every white woman, a white person is inherently racist, I think is wrong, because you're not giving that person a chance to prove to you who they are. Like, if I take that notion, then that means that everybody that looks at me is going to think that I am inherently racist toward them because they're a different race. I like to give people a chance to prove to me who they are first. Then when you prove to me you're racist, I know who you are. If you prove to me that you have character, you're upstanding, and that you look at within before you look outward, then I can roll with you. I can rock with you. And that's kind of how you know, in determining when I dated my wife, I could see that she had those characteristics. And I chose one person. So I truly believe there's someone out there for everybody, regardless of what your race is. There's someone out there for you. So I wasn't the person for, I was only the person for my wife, and that's who I married.
Dr. Umar, does it devalue the community or the culture?
Okay.
It most certainly does. What it does is it reinforces stereotypes that have long been held in this society.
Okay. That's it, family. I just want y'all to listen to that and get like a clip, like an idea of the importance of this conversation and how nuanced it is, right? Because again, I don't have a problem with a brother dating outside of his race. It's just a matter of, hold on one second. Let me remove that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with a brother dating outside of his race. It is just a matter of how you feel about Black people. Like, that's really it. You know what I mean? That's really the long and short of it. Like, if you, because again, I see too many men in our community who don't necessarily care about our liberation, don't necessarily care about the progress of Black society, right? So that's whether they date somebody Black or not, they can still be a pariah and still have a negative impact on our community. But in general, date who you want to date, family, but love your people. That's like the moral of the story to me. Again, Umar has different takes on it, and we need to be okay with like disagreeing with somebody but still fucking with them. Like saying, okay, I don't agree with what you said, but I'm still cool with your overall mentality. We do too much separating where if you don't agree with me, fuck you type of thing. If you date somebody white, you a coon. Not necessarily. Let's get into the context. Let's talk to the brother. Sometimes that's the case on some real shit, but that's based on conversation and context and talking to someone and getting a clear understanding of their perspective. You know what I mean? So this is your boy Harrison, Melanated Convo. Please like the video, share the video. Let's talk about it. Are you a sellout if you date outside of your race, family? Tell me what you think. Go.